Hello caffeine fiends and welcome to another coffee review for www.getbeamed.com. I'm Vince the Mean Bean Machine and today I'll be asking the question, France, what have they ever done? Now, I, like any kind of true-blooded Englishman, quite like to insult the French. I like to insult the French because my brother-in-law is French and we have a respectable banter. He likes to insult the English and I respect him for it, because he's French and he has every right to do that. So yeah, there's a bit back and forth. My niece, who straddles the Anglo-Franco relations as a French child and English child in one, you know, is pure perfection. I mean, she could be 100% English, as she is, but she's also 100% French. So I've sort of had to accept that the French are all right. So here I am talking about France. Why? Well, because I got some French coffee. French coffee, you say? Vince, Europeans can't grow coffee. And I go, yeah, you're right. But they can roast coffee. Now, in Europe, Italy is where the coffee is at. You go, you think coffee, you go Italy. Now, you have Vienna. The Austrians famously have Vienna as the home of their coffee. And you have Prague, the Czechs, loads of coffee houses. But the French, what do they do? Wine, and they also drink wine too. No, I've got French jokes for days. I actually love the French and France. It's a lovely country. I'll be going there soon. But I picked up this French roasted coffee, roasted in Paris. That's Paris to you and me English speakers. Because Kawa, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Kawa. It might be Kawa in French. I don't know. Anyway, this company here have their coffee at the moment as a guest coffee in Caffeine, which is arguably one of London's best coffee shops at the moment. And I've not been to Caffeine in a while, but I saw they had this as a guest coffee and I was like, I'll pick it up. If it's good enough for Caffeine, it's good enough for me. So I picked up a bag of Kawa from maxicoffee.com, who do French coffee. Well, I presume they do global coffees. They're a French site that ship coffee to the UK and I presume other places. And I picked up this bag of beans for, I think it was about a tenner, but with delivery costs and whatnot, I think it came to about £13.69. Now, shipping from anywhere in the EU to the UK right now is really expensive. So getting coffee for £13.69 from the EU is pretty good going, actually. I'm quite chuffed with that price. So I picked this particular one because, now, here my schoolboy French is going to come into effect. This is Assemblage Blend 189. And it says caramel, that translates quite easily, et noisette. So noisette is hazelnut. So instantly, tasting notes are the sort of thing, caramel, hazelnut. Nice, smooth, nutty coffee. Bosh, I'm there for it. So yeah, I picked this bag up and thought, nice. And they shipped really quick. It came to incredibly quickly, actually. So that's all I really know about them. They're French. They roast their coffee in Paris. They're good enough for. They must be relatively well known for Caffeine to, or maybe not. Caffeine know their stuff, but they must be pretty good for Caffeine to be doing them. I can't tell you much more than that because everything is in French. Oh no, they do have English. So let's make speciality coffee, fill every cup. Kawa joins a new era offering sustainable, artisanal and flavourful coffee. Sustainable, that's good. Artisanal, good. Flavourful, good. Those are three good things. And as we know, when the English and the French work together, we can produce amazing things. Concorde, the Channel Tunnel, Thierry Henry, etc. Um, so, I picked this up. You open it up. Initially, the smell is incredibly sweet and caramelly. You do get a caramelly smell instantly. And you kind of, for coffee, it's this wafting kind of caramel. And you go, nice, that's really sweet coffee. That's going to be really interesting. And then when it pours, there's maybe... Now, my reaction to this may be because I've been drinking a darker roast up until this point. But the coffee that comes out has this almost hazelnutty colour. It's a really light caramelly colour to it. And instantly I'm intrigued because it lacks that sort of darkness. And I'm like, okay, this coffee is going to be interesting. So, 1369, 200 grams, shipped from France. Pretty good going. It has that caffeine seal of approval. So, I'm hoping for something really good. And, you know, tasty. Now, the only tasting notes I can make out being caramel and hazelnut. So, I'm expecting sweet, nutty. Should be perfect for a latte. And that's all I can tell you, really. So here's hoping that this lovely French coffee, it's not French. It doesn't tell me the origin, or if it... No, hang on. Producteurs Cooperative Santos and Finca Liquidambar. So that doesn't tell me the country, and if it does, my French isn't good enough. I could probably find out the country with a bit of research. I'm pretty sure I should have known the country. Anyway, it's a blend, so I'll look up where the country is from, where the origins of this blend are from. But in terms of the tasting notes, sweet, nutty, okay, it's all there. Let's hope that it's... What I'm really intrigued about is with that colour and with that really sweet smell, I'm really intrigued to see if that translates across, or if it does just kind of trick the senses. So we will see. So we'll start out, as always, I have my espresso shot, my oat latte, and my glass of water to cleanse the palate. So will it kind of be really sharp and sweet? I don't think so. But it'll be really interesting to see what the mouthfeel is like because it only has those two tasting notes of caramel and hazelnut. If it is really kind of syrupy and viscous, does it stick to the throat? Well, not the throat, the mouth. How sweet is it? Will it catch me off guard? Will it be an average coffee? Blah, 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 blah. We'll find out now. So, give it a sniff. And that sweetness is still coming through. You know when you kind of smell an espresso and you kind of go, there's a darkness there, there's that sort of wetness to it. You know, sometimes, and this may just be me, sometimes you smell an espresso and you get a sense of like wet dog. And that's because you're largely, you know, sniffing water. But it's sometimes on darker espressos, it may just be me, but I feel you get that smell and you kind of go, yeah, that's wet dog smell. This is so sweet in smell alone. It's incredible. If you handed that to me, I mean, you can tell it's coffee, but if you handed that to me blindfolded and went, yeah, this is a flavoured coffee, smell it, or yeah, we've put like 6 teaspoons of brown sugar in, I'd go, yeah, you can smell it. But there's nothing. That's pure espresso. So, here goes. Oh, wow. So, what intrigues me is this incredible sweetness in smell. And it is a sweet coffee. But you don't... It almost smells incredibly sugary, and then you taste it, and then you kind of go, oh yeah, that's right, coffee doesn't have sugar in, naturally speaking. But then the smoothness, that smoothness is incredible. It's almost as if it's not a coffee at all. It's almost like a hot chocolate or another drink, or you know, it's not as sweet as something with sugar in, but it's the smoothness is mind blowing. And there is a slight... It's almost like chocolate orange. I don't want to say orange because of that evokes an acidity, which just isn't there. No acidity. Smooth, sweet as hell. The nuttiness I understand because of that smooth finish, but almost like eating a chocolate orange. You kind of go, ooh, there's something, you know, when you get that chocolate and then a little kind of ting of something else. I can't put my finger on it, but that's what I'm getting at the moment. That is, it's also darker than you think because of that sort of caramelly colour. But caramel, definitely. Hazelnut, yeah, because of the finish. Bosh bosh. And that is actually a really nice espresso. Doesn't kick you in the teeth. You kind of wash it down and you go, yeah, that's a nice cup of coffee. I just don't know what to say about that. That's smooth and sweet. And not intense, but you know you're drinking coffee. I don't know what more to add. It's just a really nice, smooth, intense coffee. Barely any roughness at all, which is incredible, really. Great, just great, fantastic. So, what am I expressing? I've got espresso on the mind. What am I expecting from the oat latte? Well, this is where I'm hoping it comes into its own. That is a great espresso. But if it works as an oat latte as well, then this coffee has knocked it out of the park. Because France is a nation of pastry makers. And that's not an offensive euphemism. That is to say that they know what they're doing when it comes to a sweet, flaky treat. And I, as some sort of louche hedonist that, you know, does nothing but drink coffee all day and likes a pastry, think that a milky coffee of the right tasting notes with a pastry is essentially the greatest thing on earth. Like, I think if you get a high quality pastry and a high quality coffee together that work together, then there's not much better than that. So I'm hoping this is one of those coffees that I can go, nice, get me a, I don't know, chocolatine on the double. And if it does, I know what I'll be making for breakfast tomorrow. Pain au chocolat. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the milk sort of plays up the caramelly flavour. And then that, it's not going to get rougher. It's going to be incredibly smooth. My only worry is the milk just kind of kills it. And you just sort of get a like pleasant but milky drink. I'm hoping that the smooth finish and the caramel, the sweetness comes through and you go, yeah, that is a almost like a dessert coffee. That is a pastry coffee sort of thing. That's what I'm hoping for. So, here goes. Interesting. It becomes intensely chocolatey. That caramel almost becomes a bit more rounded, not at the front of the mouth, but a more well-rounded, kind of like a melting chocolate. It remains incredibly sweet, but less caramelly, more chocolatey. That smooth finish is still there. You still get that kind of nuttiness on the tip of your tongue. But I'd say less caramel, more chocolate. And that's all I can say about that, really. I just that's really kind of intense, though, in how sweet it is. And I don't think I've had a coffee that sweet. I say it's incredible, really. But what I will say about that is, if you walk into a coffee shop and you know the tasting notes and that says caramel and hazelnut, that is as near perfect a description with 2 tasting notes as I could imagine on that coffee. If I had an eclair or some other French pastry, my knowledge of French pastries is not great, largely because they're all buttery and I'm a vegan, so they naturally hate me. But I'm English and I don't drink either, so you know, I have had my brother-in-law actually say, "You don't drink, you're vegan, and you're English. Just what's the point?" And honestly, I just had to look back at him and say, I don't really know. But if by some weird quirk I could have a pastry with that, a handmade pastry with that, like yeah, that would be it. That'd be great. That'd be great. Fantastic. I love that coffee. I hate how much I love it. But yeah, that's fantastic. That is a fantastic coffee. That and it does what it says on the tin. I think I love it so much because it doesn't faff. There's no faff. There's no floweriness to it. It literally says caramel and noisette, so caramel and hazelnut. That's it. Bosh bosh, and you drink it and you go, yeah, that is that. But it's so well done. There's no roughness. There's no kind of, oh, you could maybe describe it as this. No. There's the chocolatiness to it, but that's European coffee for you. You drink coffee, certainly in the UK, and you go, yeah, chocolatey. There's not a lot of floral or acidic coffees flying around. They're getting better in terms of what they do offer, but largely at the moment, the European palate goes, yeah, chocolatey coffee. Anyway, I really like that. Anyway, I'll go away and have a think about it, but yeah, very impressed with that. In the meantime, do hit our like and subscribe buttons. I'll try and come up with a few more words other than, yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Check us out on TikTok, or check me out on the Instagram at the Vince Wood. TikTok, it's at Get Beamed Coffee. And just follow our stuff. Like us on YouTube, whatever. Just do whatever. But yeah, do help us out with those mediums. Alright, see you in a bit. A really quick roundup of this coffee. Smooth, sweet caramel and hazelnut taste. That taste is so evident. It does exactly what the tasting notes say. So, you know, it does what it says on the tin, which is really great. Really what you want from tasting notes. Even though the tasting notes are super simple of caramel and hazelnut, you know exactly where they're coming from with those tasting notes. Very sweet and very pleasant. And solely because of that, well, not solely because of that, you know, you factor in price, you factor in everything else. But I think this makes this only the 3rd coffee I've reviewed to receive 5 stars. Really fantastic coffee. Do try it out if you're ever in France or want to give Maxi coffee or French coffee a go, or if you're in London at the moment and want to drop by Caffeine. Great coffee. I can't wait to try these guys out more. Thank you very much. Do hit those like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you all soon. Bye bye.